The party was at some overpriced rooftop venue downtown, the kind of place that smelled like overpriced cocktails and desperate networking. A sea of suits and sequins swayed under dim golden lighting, all pretending they were not just here to kiss the right asses and climb the right ladders. I was already regretting coming. Ashley had been glued to her phone since we got out of the car, barely acknowledging my existence. I should have known something was off right then and there, but I'd spent the last year making excuses for her. She disappeared as soon as we arrived, vanishing into a cluster of coworkers while I lingered awkwardly by the bar. I was not here for the social scene. I was here because she asked me to come, or maybe because she wanted me to see something, to understand something, to feel humiliated. Brandon found me first, tall, put together and exuding the kind of arrogance that came with knowing you could buy and sell everyone in the room. His watch alone probably cost more than my yearly salary. He did not introduce himself, did not need to. I'd seen his name pop up on Ashley's phone enough times to know exactly who he was. And yet I was still stupid enough to stand there. Letting him talk like this was just another conversation. She told me you'd be here, he said, swirling the whiskey in his glass like we were old friends, said it might be time you and I had a little chat. I was already on edge. Something about the way he was looking at me, like I was some clueless idiot who still had not figured out the punchline of a joke everyone else already got. I repeated, my voice coming out tighter than I wanted. Ashley, he said smoothly. And then he smiled, your wife. Something in my stomach twisted, a quiet animal instinct that told me to get the hell out of there. But I stayed, because the part of me that still trusted her, still believed there was an explanation, was desperate to hear whatever excuse she had lined up this time. Brandon took a slow sip of his drink, watching me the way a cat watches a mouse that has not realized it has already been caught. You do not seem surprised. I did not answer. Because the truth was I was not really good, he said, stepping closer. Then I would not waste time. I felt the weight of the room pressing and the distant murmur of conversation turning to static in my ears as he leaned in and said the words that would change everything. From now on, she's mine to control. And you'll be the one supporting her and your worthless life. Resist. And I'll leave you with nothing. Silence. A long, stretching moment where my brain struggled to process what had just been said. Like a computer hit with a virus it could not decode. Then I laughed. A short, sharp sound that came out more like than humor. Excuse me? I asked, still not fully convinced I'd heard him right. He shrugged, entirely unfazed. I'll keep it simple. Ashley does not want to be your wife anymore. She's made that pretty clear to me. But divorce is messy. And let us be honest, you're not exactly in a position to fight me on this. I have resources, lawyers, and Ashley. Well, he tilted his head slightly, his smile deepening. She has me. I felt something crack inside me. Not a slow break, not a quiet realization, a violent, sharp snap. Then I saw her. Ashley standing just a few feet away, watching us with that same detached amusement. Like this was some reality show she was enjoying from the sidelines. She did not look ashamed. She did not look guilty. She smirked. That was all it took. Everything I had ignored. Every excuse I had made for her. Every time I had let myself believe she still loved me. It all collapsed in an instant. I did not see red. I saw everything clearer than I ever had before. And I knew one thing for sure. Brandon had just made the biggest mistake of his life that I do not remember setting my drink down. 1 second, it was in my hand. The next, I was standing toe to toe with Brandon. My fists clenched so tight, my nails dug into my palms. He still had that smug, rehearsed expression like he'd done this before. Like he was used to men like me breaking apart in front of him. But I was not breaking. I was calculating. Ashley made her move then. Stepping between us with the kind of casual ease that suggested she did not see me as a threat. As if the man she'd built a life with, the man she'd laughed with, cried with, slept next to for years, was just some footnote in her past. Do not be dramatic. She sighed. Taking Brandon's arm like it was the most natural thing in the world. You knew this was coming. I stared at her, feeling something deeper than anger. Something I did not even have words for. You knew this was coming. I repeated, my voice low, steady, dangerous. She tilted her head, feigning sympathy. Come on, let us not do this here. You do not want to make a scene. A scene. She was worried about a scene. I laughed. A real one this time. Loud enough that a few people turned to look. Their conversations faltering as they sensed something brewing. Good. I wanted an audience. I wanted her to feel what it was like to be humiliated in public, to have the person you trusted the most gut you in front of strangers. So I stepped closer, just enough to make her shift uneasily, and said, How long? Ashley rolled her eyes. Like I was being childish. Does it matter? Brandon chuckled beside her. And something inside me screamed to wipe that sound out of existence. But I was not going to hit him. Not yet. I exhaled slowly through my nose. You owe me the truth. Ashley sighed, letting go of Brandon's arm. She placed a manicured hand on her hip and finally met my eyes. All pretense of guilt gone. Fine, she said. 6 months. 6 months. I'd been waking up next to a stranger for half a year, kissing a woman who had already chosen someone else, living a lie that she had crafted. And she was not even sorry. I let the weight of it settle, feeling every fiber of my being shift into something else. Something colder. Wow. I said, shaking my head. You really are something else. She gave a small shrug. I wanted to tell you, I was waiting for the right time. The right time. Like this was a breakup over coffee. Like I was supposed to just nod and accept it. Brandon smirked again, reaching for her waist. In front of me, I felt my vision sharpened, tunneling in on his wrist as it wrapped around my wife. A beat of silence passed. Then I struck. Not a punch. Not yet. But a glass, still full of whiskey, straight into his smug, unprepared face. The room exploded into chaos. Brandon staggered back, whiskey dripping down his face, his eyes wide with shock. The expensive glass slipped from his fingers and shattered against the marble floor. The sound snapping through the room like a gunshot. Gasp rippled through the crowd. Conversation screeched to a halt. And suddenly, every single person at that party was watching. Good. I wanted them to see. I wanted Ashley to feel this, to taste what it was like to be blindsided, humiliated, to have the world tilt under her feet the way she had done to me. Brandon wiped his face. His fingers trembling for half a second before his ego caught up and forced a laugh. Forced control. You've got some nerve. He muttered, dabbing at his expensive suit with a napkin someone shoved into his hand. Really, man? Over a woman. Ashley was furious now, grabbing my arm like she still had any authority over me. What the hell is wrong with you? I yanked my arm free, my voice sharp and cutting. What's wrong with me? I let out a bitter laugh. You've been screwing this guy behind my back for 6 months. And I'm the one who's out of line. Brandon recovered quickly, slicking back his damp hair, already looking for an exit from this mess. Listen, you're embarrassing yourself. I stepped toward him, closing the space between us so fast he actually flinched. Say that again. The words were soft, but they dropped like a hammer. Brandon tensed, his confidence cracking. He was used to boardroom fights, not real ones. Ashley shoved at my chest, trying to push me back. But I did not budge. Jesus, just stop. I did not want to do it like this. Okay? But Brandon's right. You're embarrassing yourself. She was not pleading. She was not even angry. She was mocking. Like I was some pathetic fool who could not handle the truths she had been keeping in her back pocket for half a year. I turned my head slowly to her. And for the first time, I did not see my wife. I saw a stranger, a self-serving, callous, heartless stranger. Then Brandon made his second mistake. He smirked. Again, the next second, my fist collided with his face, not a warning shot, not a sloppy rage-fueled swing. A calculated precision perfect punch that sent him crashing to the floor. His head smacked against the ground, his body sprawling like a fallen mannequin. And suddenly, the room was not gasping anymore. It was silent. Ashley screamed my name, dropping to her knees next to him, shaking his shoulders. His eyes were unfocused, dazed, but he was still conscious. Unfortunately, I could feel security moving in, people whispering, grabbing their phones, already preparing to twist the story into whatever narrative suited them best. But I was not done. I crouched down next to him, my voice low, lethal. You think you're untouchable. I murmured that you can take whatever you want. And no one can stop you. His breathing was uneven, but he was listening. He had no choice. Big mistake. I continued gripping his collar, pulling him closer until our faces were inches apart, because you just stole from the wrong man. Then I stood, adjusted my sleeves and turned to Ashley, who was still kneeling beside him, her expression torn between fury and fear. You wanted to humiliate me? I said quietly, congratulations. Now watch what happens next. Then I walked out, leaving nothing but chaos in my wake. The second I stepped out of that overpriced rooftop hellhole, the cold night air hit me like a slap to the face. My heart was hammering. My knuckles ached. And my mind was a live wire of fury, betrayal, and something else. Clarity. Ashley thought she had me cornered. She thought she'd already won. That smug, condescending smirk, that mocking tone, the way she looked at me like I was some pathetic, discarded object, something beneath her now, like I was small. She had no idea. I pulled out my phone. My fingers steady despite the adrenaline still surging through me. One call. That's all it took. It rang twice before a familiar voice picked up. Did not expect to hear from you tonight. Ethan said, paused, then sharper. What's wrong? Ethan and I had been friends since college. He was not just a friend, though he was a shark, a corporate strategist with a reputation for being ruthless, calculating. He was the guy people called when they needed someone taken apart without ever throwing a punch. I exhaled, my breath visible in the cool air. I need you to dig a beat of silence. Then Ashley and Brandon, Ethan's tone shifted instantly. His usual easygoing demeanor replaced with something dangerous. Say no more. I'll call you in an hour. I hung up. Now it was my turn. By the time I got home, my pulse had settled. But the fire in my chest had not. I stepped into the house, our house, and took a long look around. Everything in here was built on a lie. Every framed photo, every piece of furniture we had picked out together, every small thing that once felt like home. It was all tainted. I was not sad. I was done. I walked straight to Ashley's closet, grabbed a suitcase, and started throwing her things into it. Clothes, shoes, bags, all of it. The front door slammed open behind me. What the hell are you doing? Ashley's voice sharp, furious, but underneath it, panic. I did not stop. Did not look at her. Just kept packing her things. Are you serious right now? She shrieked, storming toward me. You do not get to do this. This is my house too. I finally turned, and whatever she saw in my face made her freeze. This stopped being your home the second you let him touch you. I said coldly, her jaw clenched, but her eyes flickered. Just for a second. Doubt, uncertainty, good. Let her feel it. She folded her arms, trying to regain control. You see, not kick me out. I smiled. It was not a nice smile. You sure about that? Her phone buzzed. A notification lit up the screen in her hand. She glanced at it. And I saw everything shift in an instant. The color drained from her face, her pupils shrank, and for the first time tonight, she looked scared. I stepped closer, tilting my head. Something wrong. She did not answer. But I already knew. Ethan worked fast. And Ashley was about to find out exactly what that meant. Ashley gripped her phone so tightly I thought she might crack the screen. Her breathing was uneven. Her fingers frozen just above the notification. Like opening it would somehow make everything worse. She already knew. She had spent the whole night thinking she was in control, watching me unravel in real time, enjoying it. But the moment she saw that message, the power shifted. She felt it slip. I leaned against the doorway, crossing my arms. Go on, I said, nodding at the phone. Read it? Her throat bobbed. But she did not move. So I took my own phone out and read it for her. Ashley Bennett, I dragged out her maiden name on purpose, watching her flinch, has been under internal investigation for potential financial misconduct. Sources confirm she may have been receiving unreported financial benefits from her superior, Brandon Carter. More details to come. The blood drained from her face. I smiled. Oops. She finally looked up. Eyes wide, panicked. What did you do? I shrugged, casual. I did not do anything. You did. Her lips parted. But no words came out. She was scrambling, desperate for a way to undo it. You re lying. She whispered, this is not real. Oh, it is very real, I said smoothly. Brandon S. been sending you money. Gifts, perks, has not he? That work trip to Miami? The new designer bags? Even the rent hikes we had all covered, right? Ashley opened her mouth, probably to deny it. But she hesitated. Got you. I pushed off the doorway and took a step closer, lowering my voice. Your boss, your perfect, powerful Brandon, just got thrown under a corporate microscope. And guess what? So did you. Her entire body went rigid. Brandon would not let that happen. She forced out. He'll protect me. I laughed. You really think he's going to ruin his career over you? I shook my head, letting the words sink in. Right now, he's in damage control mode. I guarantee you, as we speak, he's already cutting his losses, which means you're on your own. Panic. Real panic. I could see her brain firing in all directions, trying to find a way out. She reached for her phone, probably to call him to beg. I grabbed it before she could. Her eyes snapped to mine. Give it back. No, her breath hitched. For the first time tonight, she was not the one in control. And she knew it. She lunged for the phone. But I stepped back effortlessly. I'm leaving, she spat. I'll just go to his place. I grinned. Oh, sweetheart. I flipped the phone around and showed her the last text message she'd received from Brandon. Do not contact me. You're on your own. I saw everything collapse inside her. Her whole world. Ashley stumbled back. No. She tried to type to fix it. But I watched the reality sink in. I stepped forward. My voice soft. Final. Pack your bags, Ashley. And for the first time tonight she listened. Ashley moved like a ghost. Slow, mechanical. Like her brain could not process what was happening fast enough to keep up. She stared at her screen, rereading Brandon's message over and over, as if the words might magically change. But they would not. Because she had spent 6 months destroying my life for a man who just discarded her like trash the moment things got inconvenient. I did not feel sorry for her. Not even a little. She grabbed the suitcase off the bed and shoved clothes into it. Her movements sharp. Frantic. Not careful. Not the calculated, smug woman I had faced just hours ago. She was unraveling. Good. I walked to the kitchen, giving her a few minutes to let reality chew her up. I poured myself a drink, letting the silence stretch, letting her feel every second of it. Then her voice, small, weak, nothing like before. Where am I supposed to go? I turned, leaning against the counter, watching her finally understand. That's not my problem, I said simply. She swallowed hard. Her eyes darted around, searching for options. The house might, her job probably gone, her future pile of ashes. I took a slow sip of my drink and let her sit in it. Let her feel what I felt at that party. Then the begging started. Listen, she tried, her voice shaky. I made a mistake. Okay, I messed up. But I chuckled. A mistake. I gestured around the room. 6 months of lying, sneaking, sleeping with your boss. And now that he has dropped you, you think you can just undo it? She flinched. I did not mean you meant every second of it. My voice was sharp, cutting, absolute. Her lips parted. But there was nothing left to say. She had already lost. She knew it. And then she did something pathetic. She dropped to her knees. "Aiden, please," she whispered. I do not have anywhere else to go." I stared down at her, at this woman who had torn my life apart, and expected me to clean up her mess. She wanted mercy. I leaned in close, looking her straight in the eyes. "You did not show me any." Then I grabbed her suitcase, dragged it to the door, and opened it out. Her breath hitched for a second. I thought she might fight, might try to claw her way back. But no, she stood. She grabbed her suitcase. And she left. And just like that, she was nothing. The door shut behind her with a finality that echoed through the entire house. A house that suddenly felt bigger, emptier, but not in a way that hurt. No, it felt lighter, like it had been purged of something toxic. I stood there for a long moment, letting the silence settle over me. My heart was not racing anymore. My hands were not shaking. The storm had passed. Then my phone buzzed. "Ethan," I answered on the first ring. "She's out," I said simply. He chuckled. "I figured I just got an update on Brandon." Pause, then in a satisfied tone. "He's done." I exhaled, closing my eyes for a second. "Tell me everything." Ethan did not disappoint. Brandon's corporate leash had been yanked hard. HR had already been tipped off about his little arrangement with Ashley. And by the time he regained consciousness from my punch, the company's legal team had started digging into his finances. Turns out, Ashley was not the only woman he had been investing in. The scandal was about to explode. By morning, he'd be on indefinite suspension. His accounts were being audited. His wife. Oh yeah, he had a wife, had already been notified. Ashley had not just lost her safety net. Brandon had lost his entire empire. I let out a low whistle. Damn, that was fast. Ethan laughed. "You know me. Efficiency is my love language." I smirked. And Ashley nowhere to go. She tried calling Brandon 4 times. Ignored. Tried texting one of her work friends. Left on read. Pause. She's probably sitting in her car somewhere right now, trying to figure out what the hell just happened to her life. I pictured it. Her alone. Lost. Abandoned. The woman who smirked at me hours ago. Now discarded like trash. She should have satisfied me. But I was not satisfied. I wanted more. Ethan must have sensed it because he spoke again, his voice thoughtful. "What do you want to do next?" I glanced around the house, my house, the one I was about to build a future in before she set it on fire. Then my eyes landed on her closet. And a wicked idea took root. I smiled. I want to erase her the next morning. I woke up feeling lighter than I had in months. No tension. No silent treatment. No fake smiles covering up lies. Just peace. And then I got to work. Ashley had spent 6 months building a life that did not include me. Now I was going to strip her out of mind completely. First, I walked into her old closet, not our closet, hers. The section she had taken over with her designer bags, her carefully curated wardrobe, her shelves of perfumes and overpriced skincare, the evidence of a life where she played the perfect wife in public while sneaking around in secret. Not anymore. I grabbed trash bags and started purging clothes gone, jewelry sold, her favorite expensive shoes, threw them out the window one by one, her perfume bottles smashed. By the time I was done, there was not a single trace of her left, not a scent, not a memory, not a goddamn thing. Then I moved on to the next step, money. Ashley thought she was untouchable, but she had made one fatal mistake. She got comfortable. She had been dipping into our joint account, thinking I would not notice, thinking I would not check. So I emptied it first, transferred everything to a new private account, cut her off from every dime. Next, the car. It was in my name. She had begged me to co-sign for it. Insisted she'd help with payments. Turns out Brandon had been the one covering that until now. I called the bank and scheduled a repossession. If she wanted a car, she could walk to the dealership herself. Then the apartment. Ashley had been too busy screwing her boss to realize I had quietly renegotiated the lease last month, removed her name, made it mine entirely. By the end of the day, she had nothing, no home, no money, no career, no Brandon, no safety net. I was on the couch enjoying my first stress-free beer in months. When my phone buzzed Ashley, I let it ring 10 more times. Then I picked up. Her voice was raw, shaking, desperate. "Aiden," she whispered, "please, I have nothing." I took a slow sip of my beer, savoring the moment. Then I leaned back, smirking, "Sounds like a you problem." And I hung up. Game over.